Your girl's lazy and your girl's hair is just freaking crazy. I feel like I do need to just say, if you hear any weird noises in the background, that's the dog. So he's out there living his best life. And yes, I look a bit like a tramp and I'm kind of living for it. So that's what we're gonna do. I want to say from the get-go that I am kind of terrified. I don't know, this one's really scary to make because this is like probably the most honest video that I will have. Me spilling the tea. This video is me explaining my mental health, and I am 100% one of those people who believe mental health shouldn't be something that you're ashamed of, but at the same time it's very scary to like sit in front of a camera and just let it all come out. So that's kind of terrifying. I would also like to say thank you to all the people that have like supported my last video and like have said that they think I'm brave and like they really support what I'm doing, because that does mean unreal amounts to me. And it's nice to like kind of be acknowledged for people realising that it is kind of difficult, because you know it's terrifying. That's the only word I have for it. So thank you for recognising that and like letting me know, because it's like making me feel good and it's making me feel like I can do it. I'm so paranoid about kind of the interpretation people are going to have of what I'm saying, but this isn't a pity party. This isn't me being like, oh my god, my life is so difficult, no one has it as bad as I do, feel sorry for me, blah blah blah. I am purely just putting it out there so that, you know, I don't know, it needs to be out there for my channel and for my, almost for my self-authenticity, I suppose. I don't really know. I'm very like scared, so I'm just rambling. I also will probably kind of be a bit lighthearted about it, because that is how I personally cope and how I deal with mental health. I'm very much like, LOL. Because if I like bro, shush. If I think too much into it, or I kind of dwell on the negatives and take it really seriously, then that kind of goes on a downward spiral and it's not what I'm wanting. I guess I should just get into it. The way I'm kind of gonna go about this is almost like a timeline. It won't be super in-depth because I guess there's still things that are kind of not something I want to share at this moment on the internet. And also obviously there's a lot of things that have got other people involved, and it's not fair for me to name them and shine them in a bad light, because this is my perspective of things. It's an opinion. I can't sit here and say this is everything that happened, because I don't know how other people feel. They might think I'm completely wrong, but at the end of the day, I and no one else has a right to say that someone doesn't feel a certain way. Just putting it out there. I am also 21 at the moment, so that maybe gives you a bit of perspective when I start talking about how old I was at certain times. So I first started to realise that I wasn't right in my head when I was about 14 years old. It was really difficult for me because I knew something wasn't right, but I couldn't work it out. With being 14, I just kind of assumed it was like a puberty thing. And I just thought, you know, this will pass, whatever. And then I started having really dark thoughts, just really unhappy all the time. And then I started talking to friends at the time who had mental health problems, and like they were so good at like talking to me and helping me understand. And that was when I realised that I was struggling with depression. One of the biggest issues, undoubtedly, undoubtedly, you know what I'm trying to say, is that people are not educated. Oh yeah, depression, that's when you're like kind of sad. When you're that young, you don't get educated about it. You don't learn about it. I honestly think that they should start doing that in schools. I don't think they do. It's been a while since I was in school. I don't even think I'd heard the word depression or anything along that lines in a serious context. Oh, I'm so depressed. I'm so depressed. That's all I knew about it. Then it got a bit darker and I decided that I didn't want to be here anymore. And it wasn't just like I had a bad day and I was like, oh, I don't want to be here, oh, I'm blur. It was a long period of time. I even decided how I was gonna do it. Thinking back on it, I was 14. And like the fact that like your brain can do that to you is just breaks my heart. This is a bit of a story time. I remember the only people I told about that was my boyfriend and best friend at the time. 2 different people, by the way. And obviously it was really scary. 2 people that I confided in and whatever. My friend told my other friends, and oh my God, I remember them like asking me if it was true. And I don't even think I said yes. I think they just kind of guessed from my facial expression, and then we all just cried. This might sound really dramatic. That was honestly my first experience with heartbreak. I felt like my friend had just like taken my soul and thrown it against the wall. From then on, I had such bad trust issues. Again, it's not fair to talk about that much because, you know, they made a mistake. It is what it is. I guess this is me getting over my fear of other people finding out, because that was like, oh my God, I can't trust anyone. Everyone's gonna find out this vulnerable thing about me. And I think one of the things with this YouTube video is like, I'm putting it out there so people can't use that. Not that I don't think anyone has done it maliciously in like telling other people in a malicious way, but it can't be something that I hide. So that's kind of why I think this is really good for me personally. It got like dragged into my school kind of thing, and then somehow my parents found out, or I told my parents, I can't remember. And I remember I went to the doctors like, I must have gone to the doctors 3 times before they even did anything. GPs are great people, honestly, like amazing what they're doing. NHS, love it. But I think when you're young and you go for like mental health, I mean, they just told me to exercise. And back then I was doing PE and dance and stuff. So it wasn't like I wasn't active. And I understand it's like a chemical balance, but you are kind of just shunned away. So I would say, just as a little bit of advice here, if you do go to your GP and you feel like you're brushed aside, it sucks. Like, it's a horrible feeling. I will straight up say that. But I would say don't kind of give up there. Don't be like, I'm never going back. I'm never going to try and get help. Just be persistent, because, you know, we all know that NHS is understaffed and there just isn't the services now. So if they can give you alternate things to try and help you rather than medication or therapy, then I suppose they're going to do it, aren't they? Just try not to take that personally. Okay, I'm going to skip from 14 to 16 now, because obviously like bits and bobs happened. A lot of things I've tried to wipe from my memory. It's very hard trying to get a timeline in, okay? I don't really know what I've been doing in the last 5 years. I'm pretty sure I was 16. Yeah, I was at college. My parents broke up. I'm just gonna put this little bit of info here. Please don't tell people who are older when their parents break up that they don't have it as bad as when you do when your parents break up when you're a child. Because it's not right to kind of undermine someone's pain and someone's experiences based on your own. Yes, it sucks when your parents break up when you're 2 or 3. But your parents breaking up in different stages of your life are difficult for different reasons. For me, it was difficult because I was like, I'm not gonna have the family holidays. I've grown up with this like family of 4 and now it's broken. So please just don't. I had a friend who said that to me and it made me feel so All right, mate, is that nice? It made me feel just so belittled, and like I wasn't allowed to discuss and express my pain because it wasn't as bad as what they had. It was just, it sucked. So please just don't do that. It's very lonely. Even though I have a brother, he dealt with it in his own way, in his kind of, you know, he had a car, so he could just kind of drive off and get away from it and whatever. Whereas I was kind of, I just had to face everything. Dealing with your parents breaking up, just, it's not a good time. And I remember that was when I must have previously gone to the doctors, and they'd referred me to CAM service, which I can't remember exactly what it stands for. It's like children and young adults counselling or therapy. I'm just going to put it out there. Absolutely hated it. I think I was a difficult age for them, I suppose, because they were very much like treating me like a child. And I remember we touched once on one session about how they were like, do you have low self-esteem? And I was like, I have no self-esteem. That's all they focused on for the rest of my sessions. That's not why I'm here. I also will say I made the mistake of, my sessions were always on a Friday. And I remember at this time I was working as a waitress. So I would go to college in the morning, go to my therapy session, go home, get ready for work, and then do like a 4-hour shift. And it was just exhausting, and kind of everything that kind of was spoken about in the therapy session kind of dwelled on me for my shift, and that's just not healthy. So I would kind of, if you are going to therapy, I'd recommend trying to get it done. Siege, you know you're being filmed, right? Yeah, try and get a therapy session when you know you're going to be free after, or you can just go home and kind of process and contemplate things. Therapy, I know, works for some people, and if it does work for you, that is great, but it didn't work for me. I mean, he's doing a great job at making me feel more comfortable. Okay, see you later. Bye. Oh, hello. Oh, he's such an angel. Okay, you're just gonna make this a cute moment, and we're meant to be serious. Look at him, he's my little support system. This next bit is a bit dark, and is kind of, I don't know how I'm gonna talk about it, to be honest. When I was 18, I probably had one of the worst years of my life. It was in between college and uni because I had a gap year because I didn't know what I wanted to do. We'll just take a minute. You get it all out, babes. Get that anger out. You good? You chill? I mean, you're just out here trying to ruin my set. Oh, don't lick my makeup off. I know I don't wear it that often, but I need it on. No one wants to see this with no makeup on, hun. The year in between college and uni sucked. I was... Gotta be careful about what I say. That year was very lonely for me. I was in a new surrounding. We'd sold our family house and whatever. My family life was just completely different, and it was very difficult for me to kind of adjust to that. And I never did, to be fair. Because I wasn't getting any help with anything, I ended up... Oh my God, I can't even say it. Oh, I don't know what it is about the word that, like... I started to self-harm. And going forward, if I say I had an episode, that's what it means. It means I hurt myself, because I don't like using the word. So if I say I had an episode, that, you know what it means. So yeah, that was that kind of start. And before anyone, I don't know, there's some people who don't really understand it and like to find them. It's not on my arms, so please just don't like look for them. I deliberately do it in places where people are less likely to see them, because I don't know, I can't even justify it, because Can't justify it to myself. I also got into a bit of a drinking problem in that at this time I was working more or less full time, and I would just, hi baby, I would go and get a bottle of wine and I would go home. No, I'd probably get 2 bottles of wine, come back, get drunk, sleep, go to sleep crying, which sounds really dramatic and really sad, and it is what it is. Honestly, like, again, this isn't like a pity party. I don't need sympathy, blah, 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 blah. But I'm just being honest. That's how I thought I had to deal with it. And of course, like, it's such an unhealthy thing. And I also developed a problem with eating. I just didn't eat. I didn't feel comfortable in my surroundings. Trying to be serious, bro. He doesn't like it. Yeah, so I didn't eat and I lost a lot of weight. Because I didn't have an idea of what a healthy body should be, I just thought, I'm losing weight, this is great. And it wasn't. And it's quite funny because I remember the only reason I actually applied for university was because I wasn't happy with where I was, and I literally just on a whim applied. I don't really remember, I can't even remember what you had to do. I know there's a bit where you had to write like a certain amount of words as to why you should go to their uni or whatever. And I remember I was just there like, send. Didn't check it, didn't whatever. I just sent it. It's kind of weird that like this whim got me to university and now I'm in my 3rd year. It's just weird. It's a weird like thing for me. So moving on from that all doom and gloom and horribleness. So after that, just before uni, so I must have been like 19 at this point. 18, 19, I don't bloody know. I moved in with my mum. Hello, that's where we are now. Me and my mum have always had like a great relationship. Now we both live together, it's just me and her, and the nut job that is CJ. Although she doesn't really understand, like, she's open about this, she's not going to be annoyed that I'm saying this. Sorry, mum. She doesn't really understand mental health because she doesn't struggle with it. I'm happy about that, like, yay. But she tries, and I think that's all I can really ask. I don't know, this might just be for me. I think it's important for a lot of other people as well, so I'm just going to mention it. Your surroundings are so important. So I make a big deal out of, like, even in my university dorms, first thing I do is decorate them. And I'll show you when I have got them all sorted out. But I print off like quotes. Siege. He's just got a bag and ran off. 6x4 of quotes and stuff that I love. And I put them up on my wall. Just so, like, you know when I'm feeling a bit stressed or like I need to be like, I'm like about to have a panic attack, I'll like read them. And I print off enough so that I can read a different one every time. And I just find that really helps for me once I remember to do it. But that might be an idea for people. Moving on, I suppose, to, near enough now. So was it last year? Year before last year. Not last Christmas, Christmas before. So I must have been 20. Yeah, we'll say I was 20. Who knows? I then decided to go on antidepressants. And I'm throwing it out there. Please make sure you read the side effects, because I read them and I wasn't prepared for how the dog would be in this video. I wasn't prepared for kind of how it would work. The doctor did say it takes about 4 weeks to kick in. He didn't really explain, oh, is it a she? I don't know. But they didn't really explain how awful it makes you feel. Let's just say your depression levels are here and you want them, I don't know, let's just say with the depressants, it takes them down to here. Before you get from here to here, oh, does it make you go up here? And that was a very dark time for me. I ended up trying to end it. That sucked. But after that all passed, that the pills helped. And I kind of want to fast forward now to the present day, because that's a lot less depressing and a lot less... Siege, what? I mean, yeah, I know, you've got a bag. I'm really proud of you. What do you think about now, Siege? Great feedback. I'm gonna end it on a much more positive note. So I will just say what I'm doing now and all the kind of positive decisions I've implemented into my life to help me. I have moved out of my uni accommodation. I made the decision, I don't live very far away from my uni, it's like 20 minutes on the train, and thankfully I have a really good friend who, bless her soul, takes me. It's not been that difficult for me to kind of still get to uni, but being at my uni house and being in a kind of situation and environment where it's easy for me to fall back into bad routines just wasn't working. And, you know, the stress of living with other people and all that jazz, I just decided it would be better for me to come home. And I missed you. I did. God, you made me look so pale. Oh, I love you. Yeah, I love you too. Thank you. I'm glad you're happy I'm home. So yeah, I've now moved back home, which means I've got my mum who, bless her soul, she's so good at making sure I don't like oversleep or fall back into bad routines, and she's very good at looking after me after episodes. And I mean, that makes me sad. I don't want her to have to see that, but she's good at helping me through it. I also have decided to give up drinking. I think I gave it up in like December. I was like, right, December, I'm not going to drink. Hello? Okay, we're going to have to go put him in timeout. Boy, really tried to snatch my weave then. Oh my God, what was I even saying? I gave up drinking at the start of December, and I was like, right, I'm not going to drink till Christmas, blah, blah, blah. And I did, bar a Christmas do, because it's a Christmas do. And then on Christmas Day, I had like a couple of celebratory drinks. But I don't know, it just wasn't like, oh, I need it, or like, oh, I want a drink. And I haven't had a drink since, must be Christmas. Because I recognise the fact that, you know, with the student mentality, you want to go out and you want to drink and stuff. But with it being a depressant, it would just not end well. And I was having panic attacks and episodes, and it wasn't worth it at all, just for a couple of bevs. I would rather hang out with people who I don't need to be drunk with to have a good time. So yeah, stop drinking. That was good. Also, it's good for your health. Yay me. Teetotal. Whoop. I also gave in to the whole New Year, New Me thing in terms of going to the gym. Me and my boyfriend, the lovely angel that he is, we decided to join the gym together, and it is so good. I think we're both a bit like, the gym can just be a bit boring, and I think you're constantly like clock watching, being like, when are we done, when are we done? So we've done a lot of swimming and classes. Squash is one of our personal favourites because we're both very competitive. Also, we did body pump, which is a killer, spinning, which is so crazy hard work. I think my butt hurt for like 5 days. It's nice to like have the motivation to, you know, get out of the house, do some exercise. Doing these kind of activities and trying to get fit has made us feel better about ourselves. And it's nice to also have a partner. So, you know, when one of us is like, oh, I don't want to go, the other one is kind of like, no, we're doing it. Get your ass down the gym and meet me. Also, a little hobby that I've developed is painting. This is like a weird thing. Sorry, my watch is beeping at me. It's time to breathe. Tell me about it, sis. I have been slightly obsessed. It is so nice to just sit down, like at the dinner table, put your phone away, put some music on and just paint. And obviously at the end of it you come out with something that you're like proud of, and I make my mum frame them because I need constant support. But it's like really nice and it makes you feel good about yourself. If you're thinking of doing a hobby, painting is a good one. And also, I cannot draw to save my life. So painting is quite like a good alternative to like be creative, because even if you're not a good drawer, you can paint, like do abstracts. So I would highly recommend doing that, because it's so easy to like sit in bed and do nothing and just waste the day away, and you achieve nothing, and you start getting unhealthier, which makes you unhappy. And just like trying these little tweaks, like I'm not saying, you know, join the gym, take up a hobby, blah blah blah, like all at once. Just kind of try something new, push yourself, because you'd be very surprised. Don't know, is that all that I had for today? I mean, I've been filming now for 45 minutes, so I'd like to think there's enough here. Again, super terrified about posting this, but I'm truly, truly, truly grateful for each and every person that even bothers to watch my video. I hope it kind of makes people feel a bit like more open to share, because if I can share this to all these strangers on the internet, hopefully it encourages someone to, you know, talk to their friend or talk to their parent or someone they trust, because it's really important to not bottle things up. I will leave you on a all is well. Sometimes the right path isn't the easiest one. I find joy in the ordinary. I like that one. I'm going to keep that one. That one's going to be next to my bed. I need little things like this. Thank you so much for watching. And the next one, I promise, will be a bit more fun and a little bit less, what is this? Thank you. Again, as always, good positive vibes for everyone. And I hope everyone has a lovely day. Bye. Did you hear that? Who's there? Works every time. Tricked ya.